What's up, everyone? Welcome to another World's Finest edition of the All-Star Comics Podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Cote, and joining me on the panel today are
Shane Williams,
Roger Mate,
and Chad Wood.
And today we've kind of got a special edition of this going. We are going to be talking with these two gentlemen about a short film that they're working on. You guys want to talk a little bit about that real quick and kind of introduce what it is you're doing?
I'll let Chad take it away.
Just throw it up.
I was watching, going off of you there, Shane.
Yeah.
Right, so basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a Court of Owls story. Not necessarily a Batman story, but a Court of Owls story. It's called Court of Owls Battle for Gotham. It's about the Bat family and how they react to the Court of Owls trying to take over Gotham without Batman, basically. Batman will be in it for certain parts, but it's really about Dick and Tim and Barbara, Damian, Jason, because he's my favorite. Well, kind of. But it's really about them. It's their story this time because not a lot of people are telling their story. So,
and Chad and I are big fans of the Court of Owls story that Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did when they launched the New 52, and when we sat to discuss a potential story to do, we actually set out to start with a Red Hood story, and we had this really in-depth and awesome story about the death and resurrection of Jason Todd, and it was kind of touching on an area that hasn't been explored, his time with the League of Assassins and with the All Cost and stuff, but due to some other circumstances and some other people beating us to the punch on the Jason Todd Red Hood movie, we decided to kind of switch gears, and that's when we found Court of Owls. So I serve as co-writer and producer on the film, and then Chad is my partner in crime in writing and also the director. So, yeah.
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about what you guys like about the story Court of Owls and what made you want to kind of, I don't want to say adapt it, but gave you the idea to tell a story within that time frame.
Yeah, because this was a big change to the Batman universe, which, they've been telling Batman stories for 75 years.
Yeah.
And Scott Snyder comes along and he weaves in this kind of alt history to Gotham that's been there all this time. Great story.
Exactly, and that's really what drove us to it is, what if Batman had a villain that he couldn't actually punch? The Court of Owls is bigger than just a physical person like the Joker or Two-Face. It's an ideology. It's a mythology within Gotham where this organization called the Court of Owls has been overseeing and pulling the strings in Gotham for pretty much since Gotham's birth. And they, in any big major moment in the city's history, they've had something to do with, all the way up to the death of the Waynes. And that was part of the story that really drove us to it. And in Court of Owls, Batman is kind of on a side quest. He's kind of going through his own story, his own battle with the court. And we don't really get to see what happens to the rest of his family during this process or during this time. And just as Chad mentioned, Batman's not in ours a whole lot because we want to focus on what's the rest of the family doing while Batman's fighting his own battle against the court. So we're not a direct adaptation of the story. We have taken some liberties and made it a little bit more enjoyable for film.
Well, the cool thing is that was a big enough event over enough time to give you guys some play there anyway. Mm-hmm. So, because the Court of Owls ended up being an 11-issue, if I'm not mistaken, story arc, and
ours is a little bit closer to the Night of the Owls story arc, where the Talons actually strike.
Yeah,
awesome.
And they didn't, because in the story they didn't really cover too much about what the other family members were dealing with. It focused more on Batman, and him going up against the court. Now there is a point where the Talons go after the family, right? And that's what you guys are focusing on?
Yeah, so in the story, the court sends the Talons after major players in Gotham, the mayor and Mr. Freeze, because he has some ties to the court, and Batman kind of gets their hit list, and he assigns each member of the Bat family somebody to protect, and that's kind of their own little side story. We're kind of twisting it a little bit, so instead of a member of the city being targeted, a member of the family is being specifically targeted. So each member of the family gets a talon that's specifically after them, and it's going to be a really interesting roller coaster because, obviously the Bat family relies on Batman being there. So this is what happens when he's removed from the picture. Who rises up, who stumbles, who fights for control, and we kind of cover all of that in ours.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you guys want to break down anything else? Because you're bringing a special trailer
Yes.
for us, right?
Yep. So Chad and I have brought the teaser trailer for Battle for Gotham with us today. So you viewers, you'll actually be the first ones able to see it because it's going to be exclusive on here before we release it online.
The first ones, I haven't seen it.
Nobody has seen it.
Nobody has seen
We
it.
hope it's good because
We made our editor do it blindfolded. We're hoping it's okay.
We're hoping it's Batman related.
Because you guys have the intent of doing a short film.
Correct. So
Okay.
with this teaser, our intent is to raise funds and make a short film. We want to do about an hour and a half long film. Chad and I are very dear comic book fans, and we truly believe if we're going to make something, it's got to be made right. And I'm a huge fan of fan films. I've been watching them for a long time. I follow all the great ones, Bat in the Sun, what they do. My favorite personally is Batman Dead End. And if I release something, and this is something that Chad and I talked about at the very beginning, if we release something, it needs to be good. It needs to be high quality. So in order to do it to the quality that we, or the standards that we hold ourselves to, we need help. And that's kind of where you guys come in. Is we want to raise some funds, and it'll all go towards the production of this film. Costumes, equipment, talent, special effects.
Right, because you guys have the script in the can now, right?
Yeah,
The script's ready to
we're,
go.
We're working on the end because we keep bouncing back and forth on how much Batman's going to be involved in the final fight.
A constant argument there.
For a little context here, I'm a Batman junkie. So, I live, breathe, and sleep Batman. For those of you who watch, I've been on before, so you know. Chad is not so much, but he loves
the polar opposite.
He loves everything else about the Batman universe except for Batman.
It's true, actually. The Bat family is possibly my favorite family they've put together in the DC universe, or even the Marvel universe. It's very strong as a unit, and those characters are super interesting to me. It's just Batman I've never been able to get behind.
Well, I
why.
think they epitomize family more than any other group. Whether you take the Avengers or the
I'd
Lanterns
go over the Fantastic Four.
or okay, now wait a second.
Gotta be careful.
But
You
I know Rob will kick me out of the store.
They
But
definitely epitomize family.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. It's cool that you're focusing on them because you can actually tell a lot about Batman's character and how important he is through their stories and what he's helped them. So
Exactly, and that's weeded through the entire script that we've put together. Is and without spoiling too much, the obvious person to step up and take over with Batman's absence is Nightwing, Dick Grayson. But in our story, he kind of needs a little bit of a push. Like, he doesn't want to take on that responsibility right off the bat. So even that is just kind of a slight reference and nod to Dick Grayson's history. He doesn't want to be the Batman. That's not his ambition and goal in life. And so we kind of reference that a little bit. And, we have the other characters stepping up. Like, Jason doesn't understand why nobody is nominating him to take over and lead. So he gets, pissed and disgruntled.
And Damien thinks he is the most obvious
Yeah,
choice.
because he is the biological son of Batman. So
Yeah.
he should be the leader.
But Tim is the smartest.
Yeah.
But Barbara's,
Barbara's
Barbara's
just
the only
sitting
one to
there
hold- yeah.
kind of just shaking her head like,
You're all idiots.
yeah. There's killers running around the city, and we're debating who's going to lead the team. So we kind of have that, intertwined throughout the story and the diving into what makes the characters unique. And one of the things Chad did very, very well is he focused on having relationships and interactions that we really never seen before. So, interactions between like Red Hood and Batgirl and Damian and Batgirl, relationships that we don't see a lot on the pages, that they just don't mix and cross over a whole lot. So that's kind of a neat thing that we try to throw in there, is give the fans something new to see as well, and something to spark their interest.
I would say Red Hood and Batgirl definitely get a lot of character moments that I don't think we've gotten a lot to see in the comics. Like, you're used to seeing Damian, Tim, and Dick Grayson kind of play off each other a lot in the comics. They constantly, especially with Dick and Damian, they bring those two back together all the time. They're the brothers.
Yeah.
But Red Hood and Batgirl, they get a lot of play in this, not just with each other, obviously, but with all members of the Bat family. So
yeah, and we actually, when I say we took liberties with Court of Owls, I mean we have the underlying feel of the book, but we've taken it to another level. We've actually written it almost like a horror film.
Cool.
Yeah. So
that in itself is paying homage to Snyder's run, because
Snyder
that
is a horror
story
runner.
has
Yeah.
And you'll see it in the teaser when we show it here in a few. We try to capture that eeriness, and the court. It's almost like a throwback to the old school, like Michael Myers slasher films, where the Talon is chasing them, but they don't see it. The Talon might be in the shadows most of the time, or no matter how fast they run or how far they swing, the Talon's right there on their heels. So we wanted to capture a different feel to it. I mean, of course, we're going to have the fighting and the normal Batman stuff, but at its core, it's a scary horror film.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You guys ready to see the trailer?
I think so.
I want to see it.
Hope you like. Hi, I'm Shane Williams, writer and producer.
I'm Chad Wood, writer and director on Court of Owls, Battle for Gotham.
What Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did when they introduced us to the Court of Owls was shatter what little safety net Batman felt that he had over his own city, Gotham.
What we want to do with our story is explore what that means to not just Batman, but more importantly the Bat family. What happens when they discover nothing in Gotham happens by accident?
So Chad and I have assembled an amazing and still growing group of filmmakers who are dedicated to ensuring the quality of these great characters that are leaping off the pages of DC Comics.
That being said, great high-quality films require things like great high-quality equipment, amazing talent, solid crew, props, locations, sets, and a slew of other things.
So, this is where we need your help. $1, $5, $1,000. We're really not picky. Anything you can do to go towards this would be greatly appreciated.
So we hope you enjoy the teaser for Court of Owls Battle for Gotham, and remember, the court is watching.
Beware the Court of Owls that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadowed perch, behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth. They watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them. Or they'll send a talon for your head.
Well, that was awesome.
That was really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's that's just kind of exactly what we referenced, a tease to what we have in store. For fans of the story, you'll kind of see a little bit of a reference and a throwback to a really awesome splash page that Capullo did, where Alfred is sending out the call to all the family. And so we kind of reference that in there, where they're all getting an alert that some shit has gone down. And So we have a lot of those little Easter eggs in there for fans of the book, little throwbacks to the actual story.
And you've got some subliminal stuff going on in there too, right?
Yes.
I think there's.
If you want to watch it again,
without giving too much away,
yeah.
can we just say that Talon is watching?
Yes. So,
you guys can have fun pulling that apart with the video.
Watch it again and again and again and donate and watch it again.
Frame by frame it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys love about, or what made you guys really want to dive into the court specifically? Because I don't know if we got a chance to talk about that just yet.
I think for me, the court represents a couple of things. It rips away everything Batman thought about Gotham, because Batman's always had this, like, my greatest weapon is my city, and, like, it's always his. Gotham is his, and now it's not. And that, when I first started reading about the court, that was the first thing that kind of hooked me, because it was an interesting thing to do to Batman. Mm-hmm. Take away his safety blanket, for lack of a better term, because, you know, he can stand up with gods, but only if he knows he has his city to go home to at night.
Yeah.
You also have this kind of idea that the Talons are Gotham's boogeymen, which makes them very interesting kind of characters.
Living between the floors of every...
Yeah, behind the walls, you know. Just from a non-mythological standpoint, they might be the only people in DC that are trained just as well as any of the Bat family is. Yeah. They're stone cold killers, you know. They're meant to assassinate people. That's what they do.
They're picked from childhood to be these assassins.
Yeah, so they're very strong villains all the way around, I think. And when you can tell a story this late in the Batman game, and I'm suddenly having ideas 200 years from now that we're actually early in the Batman game, but from our point of view, this late in the Batman game, where the Court of Owls come in and just step up to the ranks of Joker and Bane right off the bat, day one, it makes them very strong.
Yeah,
I didn't think we'd ever get good, you know, any more good Batman villains, to be honest. I thought we had hit our prime with kind of like Joker, Riddler, and Bane. But I'm not even including Ra's al Ghul out there, which I know is going to get me skewered, but...
Infidel.
Yeah, but I mean, bringing them in like this, it's very strong, and they're very strong villains, so that's what hooked me, at least.
No, I piggyback on exactly everything Chad said. It's that feel of... Batman's not really in charge of Gotham. After all these years, he thought he knew his city. He thought he knew every brick and every inch of that city, but in reality, he didn't. And you see that in the pages of the book when he discovers, you know, the Owl's Nest and stuff, and he's just baffled. Like, how did I not know about this? And the Court of Owls is a lullaby, you know, something you would sing to your kids when you're putting them to sleep to make sure that they stay in bed and be good. And that lullaby itself is creepy as hell, and that's why we use that as the overtone of the trailer, of the teaser, because that sends that message of, you know, you see this woman rocking her baby and you think it's innocent, and she's reading to her baby, and it come to find out she's a member of the court as well, and she's telling her kid will lop off your head if you don't listen. So, you know, it's this civilization, I mean society is so powerful that they've pulled the strings on every major incident in Gotham. And in Court of Owls, there's a subplot, a sub-story about Alfred's father discovering the Court of Owls. And, you know, that's kind of something that we may want to touch on too. Sorry, I'm choking up here. I'm getting so emotional. But, you know, there is something that's really fun that Chad and I want to do if we end up making this and we do the full length. Chad, to celebrate it, something that we may do is... a story that Chad and I have really, really had a lot of fun coming up with is what would happen if the Joker encountered the Court of Owls. And we have
that would be fun.
We have a great idea of how that would look.
We have it all written out as this little like 10-minute kind of short.
Maybe if we hit our goal and make this before we start production on the full length, maybe we'll make this Joker teaser and release it to you guys as a thank you for supporting us. But let's just say it's in the same tone as Deadpool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's very much.
So now you guys got the script done, you've got the teaser done, everything. Now what we're gonna do is you've got a Kickstarter,
Indiegogo. Yeah.
Okay.
So at the end of this webcast, you'll see a splash page pop up, and it'll have information on where to go if you want to donate. Honestly, $1 helps. $5 helps. If you have $1 million, we'll take that. We're really, we just want the assistance, and we're very grateful for anything anybody can do. Like I mentioned before, is quality is everything to us, and we're not going to make this unless we can make it the quality and the standard that it needs to be. We don't want to just have a fat guy in tights running around pretending to be Batman.
although
that'd
be really funny.
That may be good for a blooper, but we want to make a really fun and enjoyable thing. And we've had some really great people step up and help us get this far right now. Our costume designer, Christina Clark, she made that amazing Talon suit that you get to see a little bit of in the trailer. It's kind of hidden in shadows, but we brought the mask with us today so you can see that. Stephanie Saladino made the Red Hood mask, and she did all of the makeup and effects. Paul Saladino, her husband, was our cinematographer and editor, and he did all the graphic effects that you saw in the short. So we've had some really great people, and Levy Betancourt came and he helped us and dedicated his equipment and his time to help film and light our film. So we've put together a great team of people that are very committed to quality, and all these people did it pro bono right now because they just want to.
It shows. I mean, that looks sharp. I mean, it's really cool.
Thank you, and all we can say is there's more to come. If you liked what you saw, let us know, and we hope to share our love for Batman even more.
Just to kind of further explain the Indiegogo, our goal right now is 10,000. If that means 10,000 $1 donations, I will more than be happy with that. If we can get more than that, that honestly just goes to improving the quality of the film. Shane and I are both making this film free. Like, any money we get goes straight towards equipment, costume, actors, locations, props. Like, we're not making any money off of this.
Chad and I funded what you saw, the teaser.
$600.
Yeah, $600. We made that teaser, and we, money out of our own pocket.
Couple of garage
sales and friends donating, time and equipment, and it just we're gonna make it happen. Like, we're passionate, and we're gonna make it happen.
Which, considering budgets for movies and things like that you typically would consider 10,000 is pretty modest.
Yeah, I mean,
and you look at say a Deadpool, where they didn't have a gigantic budget and it paid off. It worked. So it's like I almost trust the people that say I can do it better with less than the people that say I need a ton.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'll take a ton. But
wouldn't we all?
I'm gonna say if we get up to 6-digit figures here.
Yeah, well, I'm quitting my job.
Yeah.
And I'll make movies for you professionally, and I'll blow you kisses for your money. Chad and I, when we came up with our budget of 10, we really, that's not, like Chad mentioned, we're not making a dime off of this thing. This is all going towards equipment. We want to get the best camera equipment, sound equipment, lighting equipment that we can. Costume's going to take a huge chunk of it because, if you're watching a movie, you want it to look good. You want the characters to look like they do on the page, and you want to feel like they're real.
Yeah, those are our two biggest chunks, is definitely equipment and costuming. It's something we're both not willing to really compromise on.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Yeah. And I mean, the way to make this happen is to share this page. Share their page. Go check out. It's Beware the Court.
Yes, we're on Facebook. At Beware the Court, and then Instagram on Beware the Court.
Yeah, share it. I mean, share it with your friends. Tell them to share it. Get the word out and donate, because $1, $5, $10.
Yeah, anything.
It all goes to making this happen. And you guys are all fans. If you're watching this, you're fans, and your friends are fans. Let them know.
And we're going to keep giving Roger and Horizon all the exclusives, so you guys will get all the updates and all the cool stuff as we go. So, I said at the beginning, we're fans making this for fans, and we want you guys to go along on this with us. It's not just Chad and mine's film. I kind of feel like it's so much more than that now. We've gotten so many people involved. We have so many passionate people backing us, like just you letting us be on the show today talking about it. Stuff like that is what drives us to make this thing even better. Is we want to uphold the standards of all you guys and make sure that we do you guys right by, supporting us.
Awesome.
Well, that's one thing I found, in the course of having this shop, is that there's a lot of talented people up here, whether it's artists, filmmakers, writers. There's a lot of fans that love this stuff that they all do, and anything we can do to bring everybody together is absolutely well worth it.
Yeah.
So
the comic book community is a very tight community. You go to Comic-Con or WonderCon and you walk through that hall and you're amongst your people, like as soon as you walk in, and that's the community that we want to make this for, is for them, so they have something awesome to watch. So if we hit our goal and we make Court of Owls, which we will, right? I'm looking at you guys. If we hit all that and when we hit all that, Chad actually has a really cool story for our second film, and I'll kind of let him tease that a little bit.
Yeah, so we're working on this kind of as we're waiting for funding news to come in on Court of Owls, and as we're doing rewrites of the script. But a while ago, as we started getting towards the end of filming, I kind of started thinking about, like, okay, what's the next thing? What are we going to do after this? And we threw around a bunch of ideas, actually. We have a Halo story that Paul and I, at least, are in love with, but we're both Halo nuts. We have Star Wars stuff we thought would be interesting. We have a lot of stuff, but the thing that we settled on was a different telling of maybe Spider-Man in a more Mad Maxian post-apocalyptic universe. Right now, the working title is Spider-Man Apocalypse.
No relation to the big blue or purple, if you saw the movie guy.
Yeah, different guy. Not that Apocalypse, but yeah. So I mean, other than Old Man Logan, I don't think Marvel's really delved into the post-apocalyptic scene too much, and for some reason, Spider-Man to me is just the perfect guy to explore that universe, and we've started building that world up pretty well. I mean, the Kingpin, we know he's mentioned, and he runs a city. The Vulture has his own little gang. There's a Spider Queen and the Court of Eight, or her 8 legs, which Spider-Man has ties to. Mary Jane, Ben, Uncle Ben, they all make great appearances. And actually in the teaser that we're working out right now, it's Spider-Man versus Kraven and his hunters. So it's a little bit different.
That sounds cool.
It's a little bit different than what we got going on.
It's very Mad Max-ish. The sand dunes and the
you need the spider
caves.
buggy. Are you gonna have the spider buggy with spikes sticking out?
flamethrowers,
web cannons.
Yes,
Spider-Ham playing a guitar with flames coming out.
Spider Buggy. I'm not going to say it's going to be a staple of the idea, but it will make an appearance. We'll put it that way.
That's cool.
But we're going to start with Spider-Man's world and build up this mythology in this, post-apocalyptic environment. And it's going to be savage. It's going to be brutal. It's not going to be, your 1990s cartoon Spider-Man.
I mean, I think in that first trailer we have like 2 or 3 deaths in the first 5-minute trailer we have going on, and they're not it's not like a war zone death where it's just it happens, moves on. There are 3 very important moments,
and there's going to be I'll go ahead and tease it now. We're going to eventually branch out and try to incorporate other aspects of the Marvel universe into this, but there's one constant that is going to be almost in every episode in some capacity, is Deadpool. He's going to be either in the background pushing a chimichanga cart, or
he's going to be your Stan Lee.
Yeah, he's going to have a little cameo in every one, and he probably won't talk most of it, but it's just you're going to see him. It's going to be like, where's Waldo? It's going to be like, where's Wade? So
nice.
It's going to be kind of fun.
That's awesome.
So that's our plan down the line. So you guys kind of have an idea of what it is Chad and I have in store. We're just we both have full-time jobs and families and stuff, and this is just a passion that we do on the side. So, but we're very passionate about it.
But if you want to see that happen,
we got to get this to happen.
Yeah, the court has to strike. So like I said, please follow us on Facebook at Beware the Court, Instagram at Beware the Court. like and share this video as much as you can. Get it out there. I'm gonna spam the hell out of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo with this thing. So, you know, I want people to see it and see our passion, and hopefully they'll back us. I've done a lot of research on fan films and went online and looked, and I will tell you that none of them are up to the standard that Chad and I have. So, you know, haha. But
not to say they aren't good.
no, they're good. Yeah, they're good. But Chad and I will watch it, and we're like, yeah, if ours looks like that, we're not going to do it. You know? And they're getting $15,000 to some of them are even $30,000 backings.
Wow.
So that's what kind of
if you
want
to push us to $30,000, just saying.
Let's do it.
So, you know, yeah, let's see how far we can go. The more we have, the more we'll make.
So we got at the end, you know, after we wrap up here, we've got a little promotional.
Yeah, a little splash
from
page
you about what you guys promoting this and telling people where to go.
Yeah, and then you also have the. It won't be a link because it's a video you're watching, but it'll be our web address on our Indiegogo page and where to go to back it and all that good jazz.
Yeah,
cool,
awesome. Any final thoughts?
No,
I'll take that as a no.
No.
Let's get it done.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for bringing this in and sharing it with us for like the exclusive.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's fantastic.
indeed.
It's cool.
So
all right, beware the court.
we'll see you guys next time.